Today, September 7, 1965, I was starting another new beginning.
I'm so glad they still remember the voice. And I'm so glad the doctor gave me a needle for my foot. Because I don't feel a thing. I can even spin, see? And here I am on another new beginning in my life. Yes, my life has had many ups and downs and new beginnings. Let's see. I have to decide on these dresses. Those, I think I'm going to take most of those, and all of the script music and sheets music and scripts like scattered everywhere. Let me start at the beginning. My life. My mother's. My mother. She left my father, her husband, Dorothy Dandridge, when she was 5 months pregnant. Now, you see, Mommy worked on a performing artist, and she really, she really didn't want any children. Mama lived with her lover, Geneva Williams, Neva, who we had to call Auntie Mama. Now, she took care of us when Mama was away. But you know, Vivian, we spent many nights just holding each other, crying us to sleep when Mama was gone. I don't know much about my father, except that I had his, well, I was told, I had his gentle mannerisms, strong forehead, and large, deep-set eyes. I did get to meet him when I was 16, when he tried to catch up with me, and then later during the course of my career, we talked at length. Oh, he was a nice man, short, but nice. Now that lady Auntie Mama, oh, she hated us, and she would beat Viv and me every day. She even sexually abused me. But yet I still kept smiling and performing and helping everyone. Dorothy, I need you to take this board and put it on stage laughing like, oh, this towel here, this makeup here, this and that, dotty this, dotty that, all the while smiling and performing. But the stage, on stage, I had confidence and power. My spirit just came alive. Oh! And I felt so free. And I loved it. I loved to sing, act, or dance, and was great at it. Singing and dancing, something I love. Sprinkles from heaven mixed in my blood. Oh, I can sing. Oh, I can dance. I just move my feet just like this fire on the wing. Love to sing the song, and I just begun. I just glow and blossom when I'm dancing, having fun. I fly and gas my wings. My body becomes like a drum. My troubles behind me don't matter, as long as I'm on stage with the dance and the song. Love to sing the song. cat. No more this and that. Singing, dancing. I feel free. I feel free. Yes, I love this day.
I was born on November 9th, 1922.
Oh, one day Mommy came home, and she came into the kitchen where I would sit and wait for her every day, so anxious and happy just to take my pointer and thumb and squeeze them all around and follow her all around the house until she would tell me to stop or just shrug me away. Well, this afternoon, Mommy came home and she said she was tired and she couldn't do her night performing job. You see, Mommy worked for a big old white building downtown for the Social Security people. And at night, she had a job performing. And I said, Mommy, I can do it. Oh, she was shocked. I had all of her dance moves and vocal inflections and facial expressions. Seeing a money-making opportunity. Auntie Mama and Auntie Mama, they added me to the act. Oh, the kids. Oh, we worked all over the South performing in many churches. Now that's where those men began to notice my beauty and sexuality. Oh, they would stare and bark at me as if they wanted to strip me. I hated it. I wasn't even a teenager yet. Oh, but the stage was my safety, and I felt so secure on stage. I was safe there, and I was free from the turmoil of Auntie Mama that hung over me and permeated my thoughts and spirits, making me feel like a lost little bird who just didn't know where to land, always seeking approval from others. My husbands, yes, I've had two so far, my sister Vivian, my mother, and always seeming to find self-worth unattainable when not performing. But when performing, I stopped, feeling like a lost little fawn, all alone in the woods, just wide-eyed and wondering, you know. Maybe I was looking for the love I never had with my mother and father, you know. And then during my life, it just seemed that just when everything was going great and my soul was happy, something would go wrong. I just wanted someone who would love me true. If you do, then I'd be so good to you. All I ask is for your hand, for you to be my man. My love, it has no end. When you smile, I get a giggly inside. When you laugh, oh, I just smile until I cry. If you come to me, my love, I swear by stars above, I'll never break your heart or make you. I'll never break your heart. Let's finish what we started. I'll never break your heart. Don't make me cry. Me Favorite color. Then in 1929, the four of us left to go to Los Angeles. Oh, getting work was hard for Dad and me. They kept telling us we were too light, especially me. But I did get some work in some of the soundies like Paper Doll, Easy Street, and yes, indeed, among the 8 or 9 that I did during that time period. Then we, along with our neighbor Etta Jones, we formed the Dandridge Sisters. We joined the 5 rhythmics and worked steadily for 5 years in all of the outer line cities like Bakersville, Victorville, Santa Ana, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, all the places that didn't mind we looked. We made our film debut in the big broadcast of 1936 with George Barnes, Wendy Baines, Bill Bojangles Robinson, at Paramount Studios. Now when I lived and moved and worked and traveled to Europe, I felt that freedom again. In Europe, we were treated like people, not a race or a color. Now, you know I'm mixed. My father was Mexican English, and my mother was a Dutch. She was black, but I never denied my blackness. I was always very proud of my race, even writing letters about the racial inequalities in this country. And I love this. I even got to introduce Martin Luther King Jr. at one of his public speaking rallies in 1963 at what he himself said was the largest and most enthusiastic rally he'd seen. Right here in Los Angeles, Wrigley Field, over 50,000 people. Oh, but I so enjoyed being in Europe. You know, I really felt valued there. I felt like a real person.
I was involved in civil rights and one of the first celebrities to openly support the civil rights movement in America.
When I traveled to New York, I met Harold Nichols. He was rehearsing. And when I walked in, I stopped him dead in his tracks. He was really a great dancer. And the attraction between us was immediate. He really locked his eyes on me. Just so you know, both Thayard and Harold were interested in me. But Harold won. He got the prize. We performed at the Cotton Club with Cab Calloway, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Jigsaw Jackson, Sunshine Sandy, Bill Bojangles Robinson, and the Nicholas brothers. Now, Harold began to court me. He'd take me out for long drives and out to dinner. Now, I was only in my teens, so Auntie Mama, she kept that evil, watchful eye, just stretching for as long as she could. Then I wrote from the Dandridge Sisters, doing the movie Four Shall Die, and a production of the Dandridge Sisters. We were over. I did a musical presentation with Bing Crosby, Frankie Darrow, Martin Moran, and the Floyd Ray Orchestra. We did a Christmas benefit for needy children and gave them gifts. Oh, I just loved being around those beautiful, beautiful children. You know, I always wanted more children. You never know. Maybe next year. I'm only in my early 40s. I had a role in The Lady from Louisiana, John Wayne. And I performed at the Orpheus Theater with the Floyd Ray Orchestra and the Rayettes. Then in 1941, I was in 20th Century Fox's Sun Valley Serenade with the Nicholas Brothers. Oh, I felt like I was living a dream, singing and tap dancing in a movie with them, in a movie with the Nicholas Brothers. Pardon me, boys, is this the channel you choose? I had roles in 5 films in 1941. For Show Die, The Lady from Louisiana, Sun Valley Serenade, Sundown, and Bahama Passage. And a lineup of shows I was doing. Oh! Harold continued to court me. We ended up with oh, Harold. Oh, yes. Just one little one right there. Just there, sweetheart. Oh, yes. We ended up in hot little kisses. And we decided to get married before it got out of hand. Auntie Mama and Mama, oh, they were thrilled. Married now. Auntie Mama, she couldn't look at me with those eyes. I was free. Ah, yes. How happy we will be, 'cause this man, he loves me. And I love him, he makes me spit and laugh out loud. How happy we will be, I hope that he can see. That love is all, love is pure, love can open any door. This is my dream place to be. When he looks in my eyes, all I do is smile, and he holds me tight. And ooh, that's good for a while. How happy we will be. Ooh, that's good for a while. How happy we will be. Harold, I love you. But on my wedding night, you know, I had so much trouble. You see, it was my first time with a man, and I was very, very young. Harold was trying to make love to his new bride, and I just couldn't. I kept seeing those eyes, Auntie Mama, and remembering her taking and tying my breast down, and one time she She pushed me down on the bed to inspect me. You see, I had gone out with a group of friends, and there was a young man in that group, and she was so sure. She was so sure that I had done something. But no. Auntie, Mama, I promised. No, Auntie. No, Auntie, no. No, please don't, Auntie, Mama. Mommy, I didn't do anything. Harold was trying to consummate our marriage. I was faced with a woman with no experience. A woman with traumatic sexual experiences. Finally frustrated, Harold turned his back to me. While I lay sobbing quietly. His turning away grew more, and he turned away from our home with 27th Street between Arlington and Cimarron, and almost all white residential area. Parties and golf games became his main objective. You know, sometimes he would come home until very, very late at night, or early the next morning. But he always came home. Always, eventually. Very close with my sister-in-law, Jerry, after a car accident put me in the hospital with a back injury. Oh, she was smart as a whip. And unlike me, she knew to tell people where they could go if they were causing trouble for her. She was also very, very intelligent, especially about black issues. So with me not finishing my schooling at Jefferson High, and my fantastic memory, boy, I soaked up information from her like a little sponge. And I also felt so much better after I talked to her about Harold and I's problems. Then in March of 1942, I found out I was pregnant. Oh, we were so happy. For a while we were. On September 1st, I awoke in great pain, convinced the baby was coming. But Harold was so sure it was a false alarm, and after quieting me down and calming me down on the phone with Ruby, he took me to Jerry's house, and then he left and said he would be back early in the afternoon, but not before getting a good scolding from Jerry, who was angry to leave his wife, knowing the baby might come at any moment. Now, by then we had a car. But Harold's friends, well, they picked him up to play the golf game, and he didn't leave the car keys. And I kept thinking, oh no, he won't do that. He won't. He won't leave his wife, knowing the baby might come at any moment. He won't leave me. Well, my contractions, they kept getting worse. Jerry and her sister Rose, they tried to get me to the hospital sooner, but I wanted to wait on Harold. This was our firstborn, and I wanted my husband to be there for the birth of our baby. And Jerry, well, she empathized with me, and so we waited. But when my water bag broke, everything was coming apart, and I was sweating profusely. Harold, come. I can feel the baby coming. Harold, please. You've got to get back soon, honey. Sweetheart, darling, please. Well, we left to go to the hospital. It took Jerry a little less than an hour to find a car. And when we got there, it was another wait. Delivery of my daughter was horrible. They had to use those forceps to help her to come, and those scars. They served as a constant reminder to me. But finally, Carolyn was born in 1942 at 2:42 a.m. Harold got there a little less than an hour after she was born. Oh, but it was such a joy to finally hold my daughter in my arms. Oh, and when we left that hospital, yes, those blue skies were glistening for us. Many friends, neighbors, and family members came by to see my beautiful, beautiful daughter. She was perfect, just gorgeous. But then in 1945, I really began to worry about Lynn's behavior. She would scream and cry for no reason. No matter what I did, I tried different lighting, I tried different linens, nothing worked. And the Nicholas brothers were away on tour. I took Lynn to see many doctors. And these visits usually ended up with me sitting in the chair, crying my eyes out, and then Lynn, she would sit or stand with her blank stare, and then she would start making those little noises she would make again. Finally, the doctors told me that something happened during the delivery of my Lynn, and she would never reach beyond the mentality of a 3-year-old child. Crying, screaming all day long. And my daughter, she never even spoke. Not one word. Can you imagine that? To never hear your child speak or say the word mama or dad. Well, Harold, he couldn't deal with the situation, and he just threw himself into his work and other women. My sadness was really getting to me, and I flew to Europe to be with Harold. I remember Jerry and I, We walked into the restaurant that Harold was having lunch in, and we walked in, and he didn't even acknowledge us. We were nobody to him. If I could, I would have stomped my feet through that floor, and yes, I did. I took some pills. But Jerry found me. She rushed me to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. Oh, Jerry, I don't know where I'd be or what I'd do without you, sweetheart. Finally, I realized my marriage to Harold, it had crumbled to nothing. And I had to leave Harold. But I had to keep telling myself this over and over. Dottie, you've got to get out. Get out. Get out, get out, get out. I had to tell myself over and over because I loved Harold. When you love a man, he can't do no wrong. Oh no, he can't. And your sun rises and sets in his eyes. And you wake up thinking you're his only queen. Oh, you see, just love a man. Harold. The divorce wasn't final until years later, after I exhausted all chances of a reconciliation with Harold. It was about 1951. I truly loved him. During the separation that began in 1948, I took classes at the Actors Studio Lab. Now, they were considered communist for taking in students like myself. Anyone who was involved in any civil rights activities, even I was. I was at an event and there were some civil rights leaders present, and I got up and sang. They asked me to sing a song, so I got up and I sang. But a sophisticated and stern letter to Southie and 20th Century Fox squashed those rumors that had spread about the industry. At the Actors Lab, I met and became close friends with Marilyn Monroe. Oh! We did tons of fun things together. We were just like sisters. And Marilyn spent many nights sleeping on the white rug beside the fireplace at my Hilldale home. After telling me all about her love, life, anything there was to know about Marilyn Monroe, I knew it, and Peter Lawford knew it. We were like 3 peas in a pod. Now, Marilyn, she was a little light-headed, but smart and had great power in the industry. She even started her own film production company with her photographer. I think his name was Middleman. Yes. They made lots of money off her. I continued my relationship with Phil, and I began my sex symbol image in the nightclub scene. My career took an upturn when I met Earl Mills at one of Fillmore's Sunday musicals at his home. You see, Phil would have these wonderful musicals there. We had a stretch baby grand piano, and people would come and dance and do skits and sing, and oh, it was so much fun. Champagne was flowing, hors d'oeuvres were flowing. You know what? When I get back on my feet and I'm able to buy my home again, I'm gonna have events like that in my place. Such happy times for everyone. Well, Earl Mills heard me sing and decided to manage my career. I had just finished Harlem Globetrotters and Tarzan's Perils, and then later, 1953, Bright Road, one of my favorite films to do. Oh, I just love to be around those beautiful, beautiful children. They were around the same age that Lou was. And Harry Belafonte, he wasn't too hard on the eyes either. But even with all of that, there still were no parts for actors like me who didn't want to play the slave roles or the slapstick comedy they were throwing at us. Well, Earl heard me sing. I signed a contract with her, and I began to work even more. Let's see. these dresses, I've got a still sort. Maybe this one, I don't know. But these dresses over here, but this dress here, I had this on a couple of weeks ago, and it was a little snug, so I think I better try this on just to make sure it fits me before I pack that one. Oh, after the divorce from Harold, my bills were mounting up, especially for the care of Lynn. And I had other expenses. Harold was ordered by the court to pay me $300 per month in child support. And he was in severe arrears with me, to the tune of over $8,000. Oh, looks like it's coming up. I continued performing in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. And I became the first black entertainer to headline at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. Of course, after demanding that black patrons be able to sit and go wherever they wanted to in that fine establishment. Then I heard about Otto Preminger, the director Otto Preminger. He was producing and directing the film Carmen Jones with an all-black cast, the first of its kind to be done in brilliant technicolor. Oh, getting this leading role, oh boy, it was a pivotal point in my career. By now, 1954, the industry still had not created dramatic roles for black actresses. And you know what? I was going to change that. The time was now. For my next appointment with Otto, I sashayed into his office. Looks like this dress is fitting. I sashayed into his office with a sexy outfit and a short, sassy wig. Otto's jaw just dropped. I got the part! Here I shine again, ready to take that vow of all the times I needed strength. I had now. Here I shine again, shining my name on the line. Been down a bit, but now I'm ready to shine. Was down in the dungeons, left all alone in the dark. But now I've risen, this song I sing from my heart. Here I shine again, after the gloom is through. I shine, I'm coming back. My heart is full of love and that I'm shining like I always knew I could shine. I could shine for you and you and you and you and you. Remember that the time is now. Yes! Oh, what a wonderful time. Carmen's production. Some of the all-black cast members were Joe Adams, Diane Carroll, and Pearl Big, who I befriended on the set of Carmen, and many others. Wait a minute. Harry Belafonte. Harry, like me, was not allowed to sing his vocal parts for Carmen. We had to lip sync. But you know the woman, Miss Horn, who was in charge of the music? She listened to my recordings over and over to get the music. They were just at a little higher register than mine. But I could have hit those notes. Even my vocal coach told me I could have. It began in April of 1954. April, the time of new beginnings. My sister living in, she was happy for me. You know, we had a love-hate relationship, but I always looked out for her and she always looked out for me. Then, also in 54, Peter Lawford was marrying Patricia King. So that meant our secret love affair was over. You know, we truly We truly, truly loved each other, but his family and this racist society prevented us from marrying and progressing in our careers. Then I began to hear about all of the rumors spreading through our community about me, a black woman, portraying a sultry, seductive girl like calm. And the jealousy from friends and others, I just got so stressed and tense that I stayed in my apartment. But one visit from Otto and encouraging words from Earl Mills convinced me to continue with the role. And Otto and I's professional friendship, well, it turned into love and a long relationship. Oh, he gave me everything I needed. Clothes, money, and love. He had two taboos though. He was white and married. And even with the negative vibes I kept getting from my sister Vivian, I still always thought we would get married. He bought me a home on every future high. A place that I loved and entertained with many distinguished guests. And through all of this, we had to keep our love a secret. Well, we tried to anyway. Blow out the candles, so no one will know who's been kissing me. Darling dear, oh, such a happy time for me. All the magazines had me on their front covers. Paris Match, Photo Play, and I was the first black industry professional to be on the cover of Life magazine in 1954. Photographers were shooting me all over. Headlines were reading, Dorothy is in Milan, Dorothy is in Spain, Dorothy at the Cannes Film Festival, Dorothy this. They just couldn't take their eyes off me. Everywhere they were shooting me. Each time I walk their way, their eyes begin to say, there goes the girl who shows the world just how to get her way. To have them see me now and have them take a bow, because they all adore me and can't seem to ignore me. When I walk through the town, there's a sparkle in the air. So please, don't you bore me. Good things coming for me. Led to me being the first black actress to get a 3-year contract with Fox, starting at $75,000 per film to escalate to $125,000 per film. Carmen also led to me being the first black actress nominated for an award in a leading role. Oh, I was over the moon. Nothing was gonna stop me. Then I turned down the role offered to me by Fox in The King and I. At Hutto's request, and I really didn't want to play the part of a slave. We were trying to get away from us playing those kinds of roles, and I didn't want to do that. I even told my publicist, Boston, I can't, no, Boston, I just won't, I won't do it, I won't. Well, no films came my way. until Ironed in the Sun in 1957. And oh, what a controversial film it was. I became the first black actress in America to star in a film with a white romantic leading person. But because of the racism in this country, we weren't allowed to kiss. Only light touch. Oh, such a stressful time for me. So stressful. Many projects ended in dead-end deals. Projects like Sloan, Blue Orpheus, remake of Barbara Disappear, all a part of Otto's promised work for me. Otto and I parted, but not before me getting pregnant. Having an abortion. You know, I didn't want to keep his child. He wasn't marrying me. He wasn't going to marry me. And I know how much I love children. Then, it was just back to performing in clubs. You know, I would have loved to have done more than the 41 films I've done so far. 41! But there were none for actors like me. The Biltmore, the Macambo, the Riviera, the Hilton, just to name a few. Then I did Porgy and Bess. And Otto being the director by default was another horrible experience for me. He screamed and shouted directions at the actors, and he treated them and me like dirt. Oh, I felt like throwing up every time I came to work. But I made it through. You know, he bullied me physically and emotionally on set. I remember leaving after filming the rape scene with Brock Peters. And I had black and blue bruises all up and down my arms from him pulling and pushing on me. But I made it through to the end, even getting a Golden Globe Award nomination for my portrayal of Bess. And continued performing in clubs. Now, the Riviera, the same hotel that emptied their pool fearful that me, a black woman, would swim in it. Well, I have to admit that I did call the front desk to let them know how hot I was and how a dip in the pool would be just splendid after they told me the pool was broken and they saw people swimming in it. Huh. Well, that's where I met Maitre d', Jack Dennison. Oh, he was a handsome, grained man with all of the smoothness and charm. He charmed his way to my heart with his splendid manners and wonderful good looks. I guess he did own up to his hidden intentions, which were to use me and my money. You know, I was making great money before we married in 1959. I even gave him money to open up a restaurant on Sunset Boulevard before we got married. But once married, he proceeded to run me into the ground financially, emotionally, and physically. Our home on Q-Site, my home that I purchased on Q-Site. Oh, it was a war zone with two heavens in it. I'm so glad I didn't put his name on that deed. Oh, Jack was extremely abusive, causing me grave bodily and emotional harm, even putting me in the hospital at one point. I filed a restraining order on him, and he was ordered to leave my house. The divorce was final 1 year later, 1961. He, of course, continued to try to see me via messages through my dear friend, Herb Jeffries. But you know, I never would see that man again or talk to him ever in my life. This, of course, stopped when he found out I was broke. Yes, I had to file for bankruptcy in 1962 and moved from my beautiful home. Oh, I love that house. You know, I practically built it from the ground up and designed it just the way I wanted it. The den, where I could sit and listen to records and albums and study and, you know, they featured me in an Ebony magazine article, and I'm sitting there with my toes pointed, my back straight. You know, I always pointed my toes and kept my center very taut and straight. You know what my sister Vivian would say to people? She would say, you know, my sister Dorothy, she works 24 hours a day at being a star. Well, I'm sitting there on my shag carpet around this color right here, and my 3 pillows, there's an orange one, a beige one, and a brown one. And then all the way to the top floor, wonderful master bedroom with a splendid balcony where you could go out and have a drink or have breakfast, or just go out and look and see all of the homes in your area. Well, I had to leave my house that I loved, and I moved to a smaller house on Norman Place. And you know, through all of this, my dear, dear friend Jerry was right there with me by my side. Also in 62, Marilyn was found dead soon after her breakup with President Kennedy. You know, I knew the exact date and time she was going to break it off, but she told me she wanted to go alone. You know, here it is, 1965. She's been gone since 62, and I still miss her so. We were so close, and you know, Marilyn and I, we were alike in many, many ways. We both were sexually abused as children, and we both were always seeking approval from others. We both achieved great success in the industry, films and recordings, but she, of course, had more clout and more power due to the racism in this country. But you know, I was asked by Michelle about Cleopatra, but you know who got that part. But before Elizabeth Taylor got that high-paid role, I was the first female industry professional, black or white, to make $300,000 per year in 1959. Oh no, I did not let my breakup with Otto stop. I kept on working. Also, in 62, Helen Calhoun, who had been taking care of my daughter Lynn, she sent her back to me on the train. My baby was coming home. Jerry and I, we went to the train station at 2 a.m. to pick Lynn up. Oh, I was so excited and happy. But I couldn't handle it. She pounded on the piano. Pound. And she had this great strength, power, and determination. It nearly drove me crazy. Finally, Jerry and her legal friends, they helped me to take care of Lynn. And I remember in the courtroom, I went out to get some water, and my legs, it just collapsed beneath me. And I was so ashamed when they sent my daughter, my only daughter, to the Camarillo Institution of California. And that place, with its immaculately manicured lawns and bright yellow, red, and orange flowers. Trust me, it was a dungeon inside. I would throw up every time I went there. And I tried, Lynn. Lynn, Mommy's here. Mommy's here, Lynn. Mommy, I'm right here. See me? I'm here, Lynn. Oh, Lynn, don't leave me. Mommy's here, Lynn. You know my daughter. She didn't even know I was there. And I tried. I tried with everything in me. But I failed again. I failed. I failed with my marriage. And now I failed with my Lynn. Oh, Lynn. Then in April, there's always April times at the beginnings. In April of '64, I bounced back. Puerto Rico, Mexico. I was working again. But every penny I made went to the IRS. Finally, my lawyers fought for my case for the IRS and won. They convinced them that I was ill and broke. So they put me in the dead file. Then an oil well drilling scam left me nearly penniless, and I had more debts that I couldn't pay. Oh, I was hurting and just all alone. But you know something right here just kept me going. But with no money, I did my autobiography. My first one, Everything and Nothing. Then I had to move to a smaller apartment on Fountain Avenue in West Hollywood. Now, Marilyn and I had spent many sunny afternoons sitting on the outside steps talking about our lives and goals and all of the little babies we would have, especially me. You see, Marilyn lived there before. My manager, Earl, he got me a gig at the Flamingo, where Nancy Wilson was starring in the main role. And I had the lounge with a 7-piece band. Oh no orchestra for me, the first black actress nominated for an award in a leading role. I was so embarrassed and so ashamed. I drank to get through the sets. But I made it through with much help from music director and friend Nick Burrito. Now, there were some times I would miss my cue, so he would tell the band to keep on playing, and then he would come and get me. And usually he would find me sitting in a chair, just out of it, you know, just or maybe I had just thrown up. You know, I was doing a lot of that during this time period. Well, he would get me back together and have me out there doing a wonderful set for those wonderful audience members. And the owner of the Flamingo, he helped as well because he had taken a liking to me, quite a liking to me. I returned to Los Angeles, and then I did a stage production of Showboat. I played the part of Julie with pretty good reviews. But with no work and no money, I became depressed, and Trophanil mixed with the alcohol, it gave me a puffy face and body. I really did look terrible. And people began to worry about me, especially my manager, Earl Mills. Now, he even had his own key. And he would come to my apartment whenever he felt like the need to check on me. He would especially come by when Ruby asked him to, because you see, people would see me swaggering on the sidewalk or begging the band to get up and sing a song or two. But you know, when I got up there on that stage, I could feel the liquid sunshine just cruising through my things and making my eyes sparkle and heart glitter and glow again. And I still have the little room that everybody liked to do. They still enjoy it. Yes. Leon and Harold came by. Otto came by as well. Now Otto wouldn't even touch me. He acted like I had a plan or something. He just stared. Now, I knew he would have given me money, but I didn't want nothing from him. I hoped he would see me and feel guilty. Him and that Jack Dennison just forcing me to go into his nightclub every night, and every time I stepped on that stage, my value in film just dropped. And you, Otto, they kept waiting and waiting for me to take the part. Sounded cold and you kept telling me not to take it. I should never have listened to you. I was such a fool. Oh, Otto. What a fool I was. Oh, what a fool I was to listen to your words. What a lame excuse of a mind I had. When you talked, my whole body went to rush. How did I get so lost in you? You made me forget who I am. Oh, what a fool I was to love you. Now I see just what a fool I am. Then I bounced back. In 1965, yes, Joe Glasser, who was determined to rebuild my career, he got me a gig in the New York club Basin Street East Grill that was to start on September 10th. Oh, the beginning of a long engagement. My manager Earl got me a gig in the carnival room of the Sheraton Hotel. Now, I continue taking dance classes and exercise classes to build up the stamina that I needed for the lineup of shows I was doing. And I still went up to audition for speaking parts in commercials. Now, I remember bumping into Michelle. I remember holding her by the sides of her face and giving her a kiss good luck. I always tried to help my friends in the industry. All the time, I helped Billie Holiday quite a lot. She and I were close friends. When the cops were hot on her trail, she'd stay with me in my apartment, and I'd literally spoon-feed Billie and give her dresses to wear, and money and clothes. And, Billie, she didn't even know what was going on. In a few days, things began to look even better. Through my manager, Earl Mills, I was contracted to star in a film in Mexico. $50,000. Contracts were signed, I's dotted, T's crossed. Another new beginning for me. While working out at the gym, I stumbled going down the stairs. I didn't think anything of it. I kept going, I just kept going and going. But on the trip to Mexico, the pain persisted. So I saw a doctor there, they x-rayed it, and they found a tiny bone fracture right there in my right foot. They advised me to get a cast on it as soon as I returned to the U.S. Once in the U.S., this was confirmed with the bone specialist, and I was set to get the cast on it the next day. Tomorrow! The doctor said I'd be dancing on my foot within 24 hours of getting the cast. And guess what? While meeting with producers and directors about the one film, they upped the ante from 1 to 2 films at $50,000 each. Oh, I better hurry up. Get ready. I've got an early day tomorrow, and Errol is picking me up very, very early in the morning. Oh, lots to do. Those are staying. Those dresses I've got to pack. I can finish packing them tomorrow. Oh, anything in my hot bags? Nothing in the hat box? Yes. Oh. Now, I think I better hit the sack. I'll leave the rest of this for tomorrow. Time to get there. Yes. Oh, and get some water. Oh, a glass of water. Hit the sack. Oh. He shouldn't have any trouble getting in. He had his own key, and I didn't put that chain lock on my door. He used a chain lock on Felton Avenue, West Hollywood, in 1965. I didn't. And I heard Earl come back. This time, he busted my door open with a tire iron and was running through my apartment, called, Dorothy. Dorothy, where are you? Dorothy. Oh, Dorothy. And then you stopped. And was saying my angel face over and over again. But I didn't wake up. You know, I visited Jerry in a dream, and she asked me, she said, Dorothy, are you sure you're okay, darling? And I said, oh, yes, Jerry, absolutely. You see, Jerry, up here, there's nothing for me to cry about. Something I love, sprinkles from heaven, mixed in my blood. Here I shine again, after the gloom is through. I shine, I'm coming back. My heart is full of love and that I'm shining like I always knew I could shine. I could shine for you and you and you and you and you. Remember that the time is now.
I overcame many racial and industry barriers during my life and helped to pave the way for women of color. In spite of the barriers and hardships I faced, I accomplished many achievements in society and in the entertainment industry.